Alright, so I want to make a quick video going over kind of how we know what we're eating each week in terms of our calories and how that's going to give us enough input or an educated guess of what move we want to make next in order to reach our fat loss goals or our health and fitness. So if I want to lose weight, the very first thing that I have to do, I guess the second thing, after you are eating nutrition, your nutrition's good, you're eating protein, vegetables, fruits, you have a good well-rounded diet, is we have to find out kind of what your maintenance level is, right? And the way that we do that is we are first and foremost, we are consistent at least a handful of days a week. It can be more, but we are consistent with the amount of calories that we eat every single day. You can find a calorie calculator guide online, or what you can do is just kind of eat what you typically eat, track that, weigh that stuff out, and then you'll get your calories throughout the day, right? So let's say we're trying to eat 2,200 calories into 2,000 calories. So we kind of have this 200 calorie, or it can be 100 calorie, but typically I give our clients 200 calorie kind of buffer. So anywhere kind of, if I'm eating calories anywhere within this range is fine. So I'll kind of be above 2,000, under 2,200, and we'll kind of eat within this range. So we want to do that for a little bit, and the reason that we're doing that is we have to find maintenance. The calorie calculators that you have online are just based on height, weight, age, gender. There's not a lot of other information, right? It can't tell you, stress levels, lifestyle things that also have an impact on how you lose weight and your ability to either build muscle or shed fat. So once I am eating kind of in this range for, I would say at least a couple of months, taking progress photos, and more importantly, taking weight every single day, what we want to do is we want to see the scale kind of stabilize a little bit. If I'm eating within this range from 2,000 calories up to 2,200, and I'm kind of within this range, and the scale starts to go down and drop, cool, that's fine. Eventually, at some point though, right, the scale will kind of stabilize, and you won't really be gaining any weight that much, you won't be really losing any weight that much, but we know, like, okay, somewhere in here, if I'm kind of eating this, the average of that would be 2,100. We know that very confidently because we aren't losing weight, we aren't gaining weight. This is the maintenance calories that I would have to eat every single day in order to stay the exact same weight that I am. Now, the reason that is important is because it gives us a starting point. If we don't do this, if we don't figure out what our maintenance calories are, this is kind of how we do it, with our clients, a version of this. But if you don't figure out what your maintenance calories are, what your starting point is, you can't move forward, right? If I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go run in this race, and then you're like, okay, well, where's the starting point? And you're like, oh, I don't know. Like, that doesn't make sense. So we have to have a concrete starting point for us, and this will give us that maintenance level or that starting point. Now, conversely, right, if I'm eating, up to 2,200 one day, I'm eating 1,600 one day, maybe I do this, about here, I'll eat, up here one day, down, all the way down here, up, down, like, we have no idea how many calories you're eating, or within a reasonable range, how many calories you're eating per day to give us a maintenance level or a starting point. So if you're like, okay, well, I want to go in a calorie deficit, well, what's your calorie deficit? You don't know what your calorie deficit is because you don't know what your maintenance is. So we have to find a maintenance level first, then enter a calorie deficit. If we're just from 1,600 up to 2,200, we don't even know if maybe 1,600 is a great deficit for you. Maybe it's just below this. Maybe your maintenance is just above this. We have no idea because there's no consistency with our calories and how much we're eating daily and weekly in order to give us that starting point, that maintenance level. So if we determine that our maintenance is kind of within this range, right? I say within this range, but I'm giving our clients more of a concrete approach. But even though you're eating 2,100, doesn't mean that if I drop 100, you're going to lose weight right away. But somewhere around that reasonable range, 100, 200 calorie kind of buffer zone, within there is kind of your maintenance. So we can confidently say with a lot of conviction that once I start to kind of go under 1,900 down to 1,800, I go here. Once I go down to here, I'll start to lose weight. once I go down, 1900, down to 1800, down to 1700, we can confidently say that somewhere kind of in this point, this area down here, I'll start to lose weight as the calories start to drop, right? If we don't have a starting point, we have no idea where that is, when, how long I've been in a calorie deficit, how long I've been at maintenance. We don't have a starting point. So you have to get a starting point first in order to track calories in order to lose weight. And I know that some people will have the question of, well, can I just do the calorie calculator like you said, and then from there I know my maintenance, I don't have to do all this kind of extra work. I can just start from there, deficit there, boom, I can lose weight. You could do that, but again, like I said at the beginning of the video, you don't know, like those calorie calculators don't know your stress, your lifestyle. That's a good place to start to give you a starting point of how many calories you should eat to get to a maintenance level, but you might find out that your maintenance is higher than what it actually says on the calorie calculator. If that was the case, if my maintenance was higher, then you've deprived yourself from eating more food, having a higher metabolism, having a longer fat loss phase than if you just kind of blindly follow the calorie calculator. And the second thing on the calorie calculator that the issue with it is, if I have been chronically dieting, cutting calories, you might need to do a reverse diet, build some muscle, increase the calories first in order to lose weight in the long run. And then if I skip that step, that's where a lot of people get into that yo-yo diet phase. They lose weight, they gain it back, they lose weight, they gain it back, because they can't confidently have a maintenance level. They don't have a proper build phase, they don't have a proper burn phase. They're just kind of doing something short and quick, cutting calories, and then eventually that'll come back because your body's gonna have to respond to that. All right, if you guys like this video, like, subscribe, comment below on the video in the comments what type of 6 to 10 minute kind of educational video you would like to see in the future. I have a bunch on my channel, but more than happy to kind of answer any questions about any topics that you guys would have, so comment those below.